Today, we're diving into the battle for your wallet. And yeah, it really is a battle. It happens every single day, often in ways you don't even see. So we're going to break down the forces that are trying to get a piece of your paycheck and arm you with the strategies you need to win. Okay, let's just jump right in with a story that I think a lot of us can feel in our bones. Imagine this. You get a new job, you're feeling good, you're feeling successful, and what's the first thing you think? I deserve a new car. So you walk into that shiny dealership, you smell the new car smell, you fall in love, and an hour later you're driving off the lot. Only to have that sinking feeling later on. Wait, did I even check if I could afford this? That right there, that's emotional spending in a nutshell. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. Who is actually in the driver's seat when it comes to your money? Is it you, with a clear, logical plan? Or is it the clever marketers, the persuasive salespeople, and yeah, even your own emotions, all fighting for control? Our goal here is to show you exactly how to take back the wheel. So here's our game plan. First up, we're tackling those big, high-stakes purchases. Then we'll decode the hidden traps in your everyday spending. After that, we'll get into managing money when you're part of a team. And finally, we'll map out a simple, straightforward path to actually building wealth. All right, let's get into it. Part 1, winning the battle for your wallet. We're focusing on that fight against emotional spending because this is where the biggest damage can happen, especially with those huge purchases like a car. You see, this is the secret sauce, isn't it? We almost never buy things just based on the numbers. Car dealerships know this better than anyone. They aren't just selling you 4 wheels and an engine. No way. They're selling you the feeling of success you'll have driving it. They're selling the image you'll project to the world. They're selling the memories of road trips you haven't even taken yet. It's all about emotion. And they have a whole playbook designed to use that against you. They know we're emotional, so they shift the conversation away from the total price and focus you on one little number, the monthly payment. Can you afford $400 a month? Sure. But that low monthly payment is often a trick to get you into a much more expensive car than you can actually afford. It's a subtle but powerful manipulation, and it's one of the fastest ways to completely derail your ability to build wealth. Okay, so what's the smart play here? Well, if you look at the raw numbers, it's pretty darn clear. The best financial move is to buy a car that's about 3 to 5 years old. Why? Because you let the first owner take that massive financial hit from depreciation. Now, what about leasing? Look, leasing is a choice. It's a luxury. You're basically paying a premium for the convenience of always having a new car. It's totally fine if that's what you want, but just know it's not the path to getting ahead financially. All right, so we've covered the car lot. Let's shift gears and move into our daily lives, from the dealership to the grocery store. It's time to decode the invisible money traps that are set for us every single day. Just think about the last time you went to the grocery store. Ever wonder why the milk, the eggs, the bread, the stuff everyone needs is always at the very, very back of the store? Let me tell you, that is not an accident. It's a strategy. They force you to walk through the entire store, past all the fancy, expensive products they've placed perfectly at your eye level. You have to fight a battle against subliminal marketing just to grab a gallon of milk. It's wild. Now, as you start to make more money in your career, a new, trickier opponent shows up. It's called lifestyle inflation. You know the drill. You get a raise, and almost immediately, your spending magically rises to meet it. A nicer apartment, fancier dinners, more subscriptions. You feel like you're doing better because your paycheck is bigger, but you're not actually getting ahead. You're just spending more, staying in the exact same place financially. And this is just a perfect illustration of what economists call the law of diminishing returns. Think back to your very first smartphone. It was probably life-changing, right? It was a huge leap. But the next upgrade? Yeah, it was cool. The camera was a bit better, but it wasn't the same leap. And the one after that? Even less so. The amount of real happiness you get from each upgrade gets smaller and smaller, which makes it a perfect place to resist that urge to spend. You're really not missing out on that much joy. Okay, so this battle for your wallet, it's not always a solo mission, is it? For many of us, we're in it with a partner. So let's talk about Section 3, money, love, and teamwork, and how to build a rock-solid financial partnership. Bringing up money with your partner can feel so incredibly awkward. It's loaded, but it is absolutely essential. A lack of honesty and shared goals around money is one of the top reasons couples fight. So the question is, how do you even start that conversation without it feeling like a police interrogation? So here's a little trick. Instead of jumping in with, How much debt do you have? Try asking this question. The answer tells you so much more than numbers on a page. If they say, I'd invest it immediately, they probably value security. If they say, a trip to Thailand, they value experiences. If it's a down payment on a fancy watch, maybe they value status. It's not about right or wrong. It's about understanding what truly motivates them. That's the real foundation of a financial team. So what's a practical way to combine finances without starting a fight every month? Well, the advice is don't just throw everything into one big pot. Instead, create this two-part system. You have a team fund for all the shared stuff, the mortgage, the bills, the groceries. You each contribute to that, maybe proportional to your income. And then everything else goes into your own me fund. And that money is yours to spend, to save, to do whatever you want with it, no questions asked, zero judgment. It's the perfect blend of teamwork and autonomy. And that brings us to our final section, the simple path to wealth. This is where we pull everything together into one clear, actionable strategy that you can use to actually get ahead of the game. You hear this phrase thrown around all the time, right? Passive income, the dream of making money while you sleep. But let's get real for a second. Most of those ideas, like creating online courses or writing a book, require a ton of work upfront. So what's the easiest, most accessible form of truly passive income for pretty much everyone? It's just investing. But hey, if you're thinking, no, I really do want to earn more on the side, there are basically two ways to go about it. The first is what we can call tap and go. This is trading your time directly for cash. Driving for Uber, pet sitting, you name it. It's fast money, which is great, but you're always limited by the number of hours in a day. The other path is value and skill-based. This is where you package your unique knowledge into something you can sell over and over again. It takes way more time to build, but its potential for growth is pretty much unlimited. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have a special skill, well, here's a super simple but powerful thing you can do. Just ask a few of your good friends, hey, what's something you would come to me for advice on? Do they always ask you about fitness, about how to fix their computer, about planning the best parties? Their answers are a huge signal pointing you directly to the valuable knowledge you already have. You know, after all these strategies and ideas, it can feel like a lot, but honestly, it can all boil down to one simple, powerful number. If you get overwhelmed by complicated budgets, just focus on this one thing. Are you saving at least 10% of your income? If the answer is yes, then you have permission to be free with the other 90%. This one rule flips budgeting from being about restriction to being about liberation. So as we wrap things up here, I want to leave you with this final thought. Try not to think about that 10% as money you're giving up today. Instead, flip the script. Ask yourself, what is this 10% building for my future? What kind of freedom? What kind of security? What kind of life are you creating with it, one paycheck at a time? That right there is how you win the battle for your wallet.